Have you ever stared at a phone screen at 3 in the morning, the blue light burning your eyes, while your entire world collapses in a single text message? I saw it. The notification for Mark W. work flashed on my wife Jessica's phone, which she'd carelessly left on the nightstand. The message was simple. Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you. My heart stopped. Last night, she was supposedly at a work conference downtown. My mind raced, connecting dots I hadn't even realized were there the late nights. The sudden, secretive calls, the way she'd started looking right through me. I picked up the phone, my hand trembling so badly I almost dropped it. I knew that swiping up would either confirm my darkest fear or make me the most paranoid husband alive, but I had to know. The next 10 seconds would redefine the last 10 years of my life. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from. In what time it is right now, it's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. My thumb hovered over the screen. Jessica was sleeping soundly beside me, a picture of innocence. The same woman I'd built a life with in our cozy Lincoln Park brownstone. The same woman who laughed with me over deep dish pizza at Lou Malnati's just a few weeks ago, telling me how lucky she was. Liar. With a deep breath, I unlocked it. Her password, our anniversary, felt like a sick joke, and there it was. Not just one message, but a whole universe of betrayal. Months of it. Explicit texts, photos I can never unsee, plans for secret meets. Mark wasn't just a coworker, he was her boss. They'd been meeting at the Langham on Wabash Avenue, the same luxury hotel where I'd taken her for our 5th anniversary. The receipts were there in her email, filed under a folder named Project Expenses. The sheer audacity of it knocked the wind out of me. It wasn't just cheating, it was a meticulously orchestrated second life. I sat there on the edge of our bed until the sun came up, just scrolling, each new message a fresh stab in the gut. I felt hollowed out, a ghost in my own home. When Jessica woke up, she smiled at me, completely oblivious. "Morning, sleepyhead," she said, stretching like a cat. The phoniness of it was suffocating. I just grunted in response, unable to form words. The next few weeks were a living hell. I played the part of the devoted husband while inside. I was dissecting every word, every look. Her behavior became even more obvious now that I knew what to look for. The phone was glued to her hand. She'd take calls in another room, her voice dropping to a whisper. She started criticizing me constantly. My clothes were wrong, my job wasn't ambitious enough, I wasn't exciting anymore. She was building a case against me, laying the groundwork to justify her actions. One evening, she came home late, smelling of expensive perfume I didn't recognize. Long day, she sighed, tossing her keys on the counter. Had to wine and dine a new client. I just nodded, my insides twisting. I knew she'd been with him. I'd seen the dinner reservation for 2 at Alinea on her calendar, an entry she tried to disguise as a business meeting. The arrogance was astounding. They felt untouchable. They thought I was a fool. That night, after she fell asleep, I broke down, not loudly, but with silent, shoulder-shaking sobs in the guest bathroom. The man who looked back at me in the mirror was a stranger, eyes bloodshot, face pale, a decade older than I was yesterday. The love of my life was a monster, and I was her fool. But as the tears dried, something else took their place, a cold, hard resolve. If she wanted to destroy our life, I would make sure she got exactly what she deserved. The fool was done playing his part. It was time for the strategist to take the stage. My first call was to the best divorce attorney in Chicago. I used a burner phone I bought with cash. I explained everything to him, my voice steady and detached. He listened patiently and then gave me a simple instruction. Say nothing. Do nothing. Just gather everything. We need undeniable proof of adultery, and we need to understand their financial entanglement. So, I became a phantom. I documented everything. I took pictures of the texts on her phone. I downloaded the hotel receipts from her email. I even installed a keylogger on our shared home computer, which captured every single incriminating chat. The evidence piled up, a monument to her deceit. I discovered they had been using company funds for their getaways, disguised as business trips. Mark, her boss, was approving his own affair on the company dime. This was bigger than just cheating. This was fraud. Jessica grew bolder, colder. She started talking about our future, or the lack of it. I just feel like we've grown apart, you know, she said one night over a dinner I could barely swallow. Maybe we need some space. Maybe. A divorce isn't the worst idea. She said it so casually as she were suggesting we repaint the living room. She thought she was in control, that she was steering the ship. She had no idea I had already built the iceberg it was about to hit. I just looked at her, my expression carefully neutral, and said, "If that's what you think is best, Jess." Her eyes lit up with a flicker of relief. She thought it would be easy. She thought I'd just roll over. The final piece of my plan was the most public. Jessica's company had an annual awards gala, a huge black tie event at the Navy Pier Aon Grand Ballroom. Mark was set to receive the Executive of the Year award. Jessica was beaming about it for weeks, planning her dress, talking about how important this night was for their team. Oh, it was going to be an important night, all right. 2 days before the gala, I had my lawyer officially file for divorce, citing adultery and providing the initial mountain of evidence. I also had him prepare a package for the board of directors of her company. It contained proof of the affair, the fraudulent expense reports, and a detailed timeline of their deception. A separate, anonymous tip was sent to the company's internal audit department. The traps were set. All that was left was to watch them walk right in. The night of the gala arrived. I told Jessica I wasn't feeling well and couldn't make it. She barely hid her delight. "Oh, honey, that's too bad." "Rest up," she said, kissing my cheek with lips that had kissed him just hours before. She looked stunning in a silver gown, a triumphant queen heading to her coronation. I watched her leave from the window. Then I sat on the couch in the quiet darkness of our home, and I waited. At around 9 p.m., my phone lit up. It was a friend who worked at the same company. "Dude, you will not believe what is happening here. It's chaos." He told me that just as Mark was about to accept his award, the CEO and several board members walked on stage, stopped the ceremony, and escorted a pale-faced Mark out of the ballroom. Whispers turned to frantic phone checking. An internal email had just been sent out, announcing Mark's immediate termination pending an investigation into gross misconduct and misuse of company funds. Jessica's world imploded in a public spectacle. She was named as a co-conspirator. She was fired the next day. Her picture-perfect career, her reputation, her affair all incinerated in one night. When she finally stumbled home in the early hours of the morning, her makeup was ruined by tears, her silver dress crumpled. She saw me sitting in the living room, the divorce papers neatly arranged on the coffee table in front of me. The look on her face wasn't anger or sadness. It was pure, unfiltered shock. The realization that I knew, that I had known all along, that I was the architect of her ruin. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. There was nothing left to say. I didn't shout. I didn't rage. I just looked at her. The woman I once loved, now just a stranger in the ruins of the life she burned to the ground. She lost her job, her lover, her reputation, and in the legal proceedings that followed, she lost almost everything else. I sold the brownstone and moved out of Chicago. I needed to escape the ghosts. Sometimes, late at night, I think about her, not with anger anymore, but with a strange, empty quiet. I won by every definition. I got my revenge. But victory tastes a lot like ash. The best revenge is to be nothing like the one who caused the injury. The end.